With that down, let's move on to main topic number 3. And our third main topic today gets submitted to us by Zhang Huang, who writes, how badly has HBO botched their launch? Not only did they come out without support for Roku and Amazon Fire Stick, but now we're finding out that some of the biggest titles are leaving on July 1st. Movies like Batman vs. Superman, Justice League, Wonder Woman, and a bunch of other DC titles, and non-DC titles, by the way. What was the point of launching with them if you're just removing them a few weeks later? What the hell are they doing? All right, thanks a lot for writing that in, man. And what the hell are they doing is a question I've been asking for the last couple of weeks. Because you guys know, for those of you who might just be new around here, for months, my show has been like half of my content, I feel like, Rob, for the last year has been HBO Max is coming. HBO Max is coming. Oh my God, I'm so excited. HBO Max is coming. And then they really sputtered their launch. Like everything from not having some real premium primetime original content to launch, like Disney Plus did with Mandalorian, to the whole gaffe of not being available on the biggest and most prominent and most adopted streaming platforms in the world in Roku and Amazon Fire Stick. They had years to work out those deals. They never did. To some very key Warner Brother catalog movies not being available and all that kind of stuff. Fine. But you know what? They advertised launching with a big bunch of DC stuff. And that was part of their marketing. You're going to get all these movies and blah, blah, blah. Great. But I almost feel like it's a little bit deceitful to announce you're launching with these movies if they're leaving in a month. Like, not next year, not in 8 months, not 2 years from now, but like a few weeks after you get the service, we're pulling a lot of these movies out from under you. Movies like, let's just go look at the DC thing. This comes to us from our friends over at Cinematical. Batman, Batman Forever, Batman Returns, Batman and Robin, Batman vs. Superman, Dawn of Justice, Catwoman, who cares? Jonah Hex Justice League, the Lego Batman movie, The Losers, Chris Evans film, completely underrated. That movie's awesome. Steel, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans Go to the Movies, Wonder Woman, the animated movie, and of course the Wonder Woman theatrical film. But it's not just those. Other high-profile movies that they used in their marketing to tell people to sign up for HBO Max. Black Klansman, for example. Braveheart. Gran Torino, Harold and Kumar. The Hobbit trilogy. The Meg, Practical Magic, Pretty in Pink, Selena, Shutter Island, Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants. Tropic Thunder is leaving. 2 weeks notice, Unfriended. Well, who cares about Unfriended? But basically, like, you got these high-profile films that a number, not all of them, but a number of them was used as a part of the market. Say, hey, come in and sign these up. And then suddenly people sign up and find out, oh, by the way, a bunch of these movies that we told you to sign up for, yeah, a couple weeks they're gone. So you better watch them right now. I think long-term, Rob, I think HBO Max is going to be perfectly fine long-term. If HBO is their backbone, HBO is probably the gold standard of specialty programming and unique and exclusive programming. HBO Max will be fine long term. They will. And I'm excited to see what they will turn into. But I don't care how big of an HBO Max fan you are, Rob. If we're going to sit back and look at their launch, not what they're going to be eventually, but at their launch, you cannot mark this as anything but a failure. I mean, they have clearly shown an ineptness about the launch. I mean, whatever the special team they put together the launch is saying, from the failure to get the proper deals in place first, the failure to make sure they had certain movie title rights ready to go at first, the failure of how they deceived and misdirected potential customers to get them to sign up, only to then a few weeks later say, hey, and it's not some minor little stuff. No. All right. It's Wonder Woman, for heaven's sakes. I mean, it's Black Klansman, for heaven's sakes. It's like all these movies, by the way, in 1 month, gone. Now, they will probably be back at some point. I'm sure this was a matter of complicated licensing deals that certain movies already had, and we understand that. Disney Plus has some of those same issues. But it just seems like this is a little bit, it feels to me like a little bit of a bait and switch. to be honest with you. And again, I'm sure long-term HBO Max is going to be great. I look forward to the day when I'm able to get HBO Max. I can't right now because I'm a Roku guy and they're not available on Roku. But Rob, it just seems like thing after thing after thing shows that they, despite the fact that they had years to prepare for this, they completely botched this launch. And I think this will become a case study later on for new networks launching and new services launching of how not to do things. But anyway, Rob, you see this thing about all these movies that are now going to be gone within a month of this thing launching. Big deal, little deal, and am I making too much of it? I don't know. How do you see it?
Well, first of all, when we saw the launch of Disney Plus, despite the fact that we've talked in the past about how there's not a lot of new programming, I think both of us really liked what we saw. We liked the interface. We liked the functionality of it all. And it seemed to me like it was really thought through. They're making a big splash. They're investing a lot of their company in it. They know this is going to be the future of their company. And I would have thought that would have at least been the industry standard, that if you're going to launch, whether it's Peacock, whether it's whatever CBS All Access is going to become, that you really need to, these you now have Disney as sort of this is the way how to do a streaming service. And I would have thought HBO Max would have been at least that. And it's all over the place. Like I was looking at it just the other day. I'm like, what is this? Like what's going on here? And I think you're not making too much out of it, because I think it just goes to show the overall haphazard approach that we've seen to this entire launch. And I think they wanted to get the streaming service out. They figured we've got so much of this stuff already out there. Let's just try and we just need to get it out without really turning it into, HBO Max seems to me like a mutation of everything that's already existed as opposed to being something new. And they figured there's HBO Now and HBO on the go and HBO I'm sitting on the toilet. There's all kinds of HBO things. Like, rather than give us something brand new, they didn't do the work. And I think that the fact that these movies are going away so soon after launch is indicative of that. They get you there and they're like, yep, now we're losing a bunch of stuff. And why? Aren't those Warner Brothers movies? Where are they going? And what does that mean? What else are we going to lose? And when are we going to get new things back? And I think that it does not build confidence in the consumer that this streaming service is the behemoth powerhouse that they want you to think that it is. It represents HBO. It represents Warner Brothers. This should be Tiffany. This should be A-list all the way.
Yeah. And listen, again, if I had to put $100 on it, and you asked me if we could look into the future a year and a half from now and guess what we think the status of HBO Max is going to be, it's still HBO. I still feel confident that a year and a half from now, we're going to be talking about how great HBO Max is.
100%.
I really do. I just, a company so smart that has done so many things the right way, it just befuddles me that they have botched this launch. Look, going all the way back, you were kind of pointing it out there, Rob, to the fact that they didn't even know how to not make their messaging confusing. Like 80% of the people have no idea what the difference is between HBO, HBO Go, HBO Now, HBO Max. They have done such a terrible job with their communication to the audience to make clear what the brands are and what they mean and what they represent, to not being available on the most prominent streaming platforms in the world, to doing a bait and switch with these huge iconic movies that people identify with Warner Brothers, only to take them away a few weeks later. I just don't see how, despite the fact that I believe it's going to be great. It's going to be great. But I think they botched this launch. I really do. So at any rate, guys, what do you think?
I just want to say that I think part of this botched launch is because of AT&T. If nothing else, this is shown, like when AT&T sort of now became the parent company, there's been a lot of executives switching things around. And I think it shows that there is a fundamental lack of experience with the new regime. They thought they could take it over and make that transition. And, everyone loves Hollywood. So I'm sure there's a lot of people chomping at the bit to get involved in this big launch on the AT&T side. And I think that their lack of experience is what has led to this.
All right. The question here is, guys, What do you think about this? Movies like Justice League, Wonder Woman, Suicide Squad, all these movies that they kind of promoted as a part of the launch, they're now going away just weeks after the launch of the thing. What do you guys think about this? Jump down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.